you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan?
Vaughn Gittin Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride, Amy Houde.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Houde, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I am Jim Beaver. And, man, fun show we've got for you guys today. Kicking things off, we got our Formula Drift post-event interview. None other than Vaughn Gittin Jr. calling into the show. And I got to tell you, what an eventful event at Texas Formula Drift had. We're going to get to all those details and interview probably one of the most exciting drivers at the event, Mr. Vaughn Gittin Jr. He's going to be calling in just a few minutes. And we've got Vegas to Reno winner kicking off hour number 2, Jason Voss, your champion, overall champ, three-peat, 1, 2, 3 times Jason Voss has won that in a row. And we're going to have him calling in to kick off hour number 2. And then Amy Houde, she's going to be calling in, capping off the show in typical Amy Houde fashion. And we're going to be talking some two-wheels, some real some X Games real moto. Sounds like our boy Ronnie Renner ended up taking home the gold there. And, man, talk about that finale for pro motocross. So Amy Houde got all that to cap off the show. Not only that, we got Lucas Oil results coming at you up in Reno. Boys were bashing and banging up there. We've got the Dirtfish Rally Report, talking some Hell Rallycross from Norway and some World Rally Championship from Germany. And we're also going to be talking about some crashes in motorsports this weekend. Regretfully, a big weekend of crashes in motorsports. Obviously, we'll get to that. Vaughn Gittin Jr., our first guest, he was definitely one of those names on the list. He was lucky enough to walk away. Also, some other Formula Drift crashes, some big crashes up at Lucas Oil. But Justin Wilson, definitely thoughts and prayers going out to Justin Wilson in the IndyCar race. Definitely a bad accident there, but we'll get to that. But right now, the man of the hour, Vaughn Gittin Jr. calling in. How's everything going, Vaughn?
What is happening? Going all right, man. How you doing?
I was wanting to know. I want to hear from you that you're all right, man. I got to tell you, looking at your car, it's always scary to see any kind of crash in motorsport. And I know when I saw it, we hadn't heard anything, and sounds like you're A-okay though, right?
Yeah, I'm good. It was a big hit. Rung my bell a little bit, but fortunately, I had the brain in the heat of the moment to back it in. Car was wanting to nose in, and I was able to flick it around and back it in, and that's why I believe I'm in the shape that I'm in right now, just slightly sore, but all good.
Yeah, and I got to say, people think of Formula Drift and some of your events, wide open, lots of runoff, you guys make a mistake and not a lot of penalty for it, but events like Texas or say even like Long Beach, you guys, you don't think of drifting and you don't really think crashing, but man, when you guys, put it into the wall, I know Mad Mike, another one that got caught up this weekend, it's definitely scary.
Yeah, what we do and what we're pushed to do out there by our competitors and obviously our judges, we're just tossing our cars at walls. That's what our sport is, and most of the time, it's fine. You get a little close, you take a bumper off, or bend some of the metal structure under it. But in our case, it got pretty severe, and was not able to get the car to change directions as I needed to, and it was just got real bad real quick, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, and I know I got to tell you, man, I've always said I've got a ton of respect for you guys. And my first time actually in a drift car, Abby threw me in Turk's car at SEMA when you guys were doing the Ford out front. And she's like, "You want to ride?" I'm like, "Well, heck yeah, I want to ride." And I've slid, I've slid a lot of cars myself, but you guys, even there, I mean, which is all for show, and you're not taking any real chances. But to me, the car control and how close you guys were getting to to walls, I mean, within inches, and putting the car there. I mean, just that 1 5-minute ride with Turk was enough to go, man. You guys, it's another level at what you guys are doing at events. I mean, you guys just thread the needle and push it to the limit.
Yeah, man, thanks. I mean, that's why we do it. It's fun, it's challenging, and for the most part, there's always a smile on the face when you're behind the wheel, whether it's at the parking lot at SEMA, Ford out front, or out there, competitively drifting at over 100 miles an hour. It's just sensory overload and full focus and fully engaged. And for us as drifters, that's what we love and why we do it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about 2015. I mean, 2015's been a big year, almost kind of a turning point in Formula Drift as a whole. But, you obviously, new car, I believe, the 2015 Mustang. I mean, let's talk a little bit about this year. I know, obviously, Texas definitely didn't go the way you wanted it to. But, you've kind of been right there all year, right around the top 5 in points. I mean, kind of take us through 2015 and how it's been for you.
Yeah, it's actually results-wise been not very favorable. It's been one of those years, I have my quote hands up that you have in motorsport, where we've just round one we had some impact which caused me to push me offline, and judges didn't see it, so I got dinged on that. And then Atlanta, we pushed the limits with some tire wear and kind of put us out of the event there. Moving into Florida, I pushed a little bit hard and made a mistake. Jersey, I made a dumb mistake. And Seattle, we had a stupid mechanical issue. And then, Texas, the car decided it wanted to have some misfiring issues at the wrong time, and we ended up in the wall. So it's been a really, as far as results go, not where we normally are. I mean, normally at this point, we're last few years, we've been top 3 battling for the championship all the way to Irwindale, but, knocking ourselves out in Texas, we're sitting 10th overall right now, and straight for Irwindale is really up in the air at this moment.
Yeah. Well, in Irwindale, correct me if I'm wrong, but this one, kind of that was way back when. I mean, I remember hearing the story, but was it Irwindale where you took your first ever victory? You literally maxed out your credit cards, drove across the country to the West Coast and ended up taking a victory, right?
Well, that was actually my first trip to California.
Okay.
But my first, Irwindale 2005 was when I won the USA versus Japan.
Yeah.
Which was, kind of a game-changing win for American drifting in general, and we were able to get the win there in a Ford Mustang, against, the OGs of drifting, where I basically beat most previous champions of, the guys that started drifting, and it was just like, wow, okay, Americans are here. And it was, for me, just an epic accomplishment, and just something that wasn't supposed to happen yet. It was, and it did, and it's been great. It's been great for us and drifting in the States regardless.
Yeah. Well, talking about the Mustang, I mean, you've been with that platform for quite some time now, and you've been able to develop it. I mean, how have things changed with the new Mustang, in the 2015?
Yeah. So in 05, we bought a Mustang from a dealer before we had a relationship with Ford and built it, and that's when I just really genuinely fell in love with it. And the relationship with Ford came years after. Now, fast forward to 2015, we're still. This year, we've been competing in our old 2014 chassis while we've been developing the 2015, which we will be debuting next year. But the new Mustang, Ford's basically just completely started from scratch. All new suspension geometry in the front, independent rear suspension in the rear, and the styling is just next level. I mean, they've really taken this thing and made it pretty incredible. And so far from the experience I've had in our prototype competition car, I am really pumped on it and can't wait to get behind the wheel of it in competition.
Yeah, how is that? How is that changing things for you going to the independent rear suspension? I mean, Mustang purists are like, there's such a mix-up. You've got the people going, all right, we're finally getting IRS, and then you got the purists going, oh man, I want the the live axle rear end. I mean, how has that been though? I mean, that's developing a car. I mean, that's a huge change.
Yeah, well, I think for the street, hands down, IRS is the way to go. For the guys out there that are, spirited drivers and just want to enjoy a nice car that handles very well, it's the way to go. I mean, Ford had the live axle dialed, though. They've been rocking it since '64. So, the car really was amazing with it as well, although it did have some of those, inherent downfalls of a stick axle and on the street, but it's just a much more refined car now. And I mean, for me in competition, we had our live axle working great. I didn't really feel that we had any disadvantages with it, but I think that the independent is going to give us some advantages, especially being able to point each wheel the way we want it to be pointed for whatever track, and being able to dial in, grip and tire wear exactly how we need it to be, that's obviously a benefit. But, overall, it's just, it just looks better, and obviously having something that looks good and feels good, it's just the whole package. And I feel like, what we have with the new Mustang is, and what we're doing to it, I think we're going to, take it to the next level when it comes to builds once again.
Yeah. Well, talking about, Formula D as a whole, I mean, looking this year, I mean, obviously, you kind of took us through yours, but, I see some guys up at the top, obviously Osbo's just having a phenomenal year. But, there's a lot of young guns kind of coming in, and, and I think this year has really been something kind of interesting. I mean, it's such at the top a mix of veterans and young guns and, and a lot of guys in between. And, I know me as a fan, I wasn't expecting to see some of these names up on the leaderboard that we're seeing this year.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really awesome to see. I mean, the level this year has gotten so tight, and, information about how to build a car, make a car work, is getting in the hands of people a lot earlier than, it used to be accessible, which is awesome. And, we're seeing some of these guys with just raw, amazing talent coming out, and they're matching it up with some pretty well set up cars and able to run with the guys that have been here, for a while. So I think it's good. I think it's great for the sport. And, I'm always pumped to see the next generation coming up and doing good things. And, there's definitely some killer drivers out there. And, I'm just really excited about what's going on in drifting globally overall. I mean, it's growing phenomenally, and, you're seeing some, everyone's, it's just, opening a lot of eyes, and, when we get fans coming to events, they're there next year with 4 of their friends. So it's been an amazing growth and, a lot of fun, and, I'm all about it, and, it's my passion. It's what I love. I love driving. I'm actually gearing up to go race Trans Am this weekend for my first time in Road America, but drift is my heart.
Yeah, well, and that was going to be one of my next questions I was going to ask you. How did that come about? I know, what was it, last year you went up there to, was it Troy River and did some NASCAR racing? I mean, how did how did this deal, how did that first happen, and then take us to this year, and going to do some road racing at Road America? I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, the NASCAR event last year just was an opportunity. I was going to GP3R, which is this really big festival, and they have NASCAR there in the streets of Three Rivers, Canada, right outside Quebec. And there was an opportunity for me to jump in a NASCAR that Monster had worked out and with the guys at GP3R, and I jumped at the opportunity, and my goal was to finish mid-pack, and I ended up finishing 13th out of like 32 or 33, so I did a little bit better. I was slightly off pace for a good amount of the race, but then it all started clicking, and I saved the car and was smart about it, and ended up finishing well. And this Trans Am opportunity actually happened. Someone I've known for a really long time, Peter Stark, actually works for a group called the ETE transmission team, Low Shack Racing, and I saw them at Road Atlanta and went and chatted with them a bit, and they told me they were interested for me to come do a test and see what was up, and I actually went out and did a test at Palm Beach and ended up being pretty fast and raising a few eyebrows, and we just put something together to come out and have some fun at Road America this weekend, and it'll be my first Trans Am race in Mike Cope Racing T82 Mustang. So looking forward to it. Going to bring the 2015 prototype competition car out and do some drifting, and it's also during NASCAR weekend out there as well. So should be cool. Should be new group of people that I don't get to spend a lot of time with. So I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, how is that? I mean, you transitioning to doing some road racing. I know, every time I go to tarmac, I'm used to throwing off-road trucks around, and to me, it takes me a little bit to go back to, hey, we just can't throw this car around. It's all about grip and apexes and things like that. I mean, you're coming from a sport where it's all about keeping the rear loose, to one where, you're fighting for every bit of grip you can get. I mean, is there any transition there? I mean, how does the drift skill set transfer to road racing?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a switch you have to throw in the brain. I'm constantly going, down the straight at over 100. I'm like, okay, it's almost time to flick the car in and yank the handbrake, right? But obviously that's not what we're doing out there. The thing with Trans Am cars is they actually move around a good amount, and they slide a bit. It's not necessarily counter steer slide. You're wanting to be at essentially zero steer slides, but for me, I'm very comfortable with the car moving around and very comfortable when it gets a little bit out of shape and know how to react to it because it's just kind of second nature.
Yeah.
So that's where I really adapted well to that actual, that kind of car. And as far as like proper racing lines and things like that, I mean, that just translates right through with drifting. You just approach the turns a little bit. The biggest you approach the turns just a little bit differently. But the biggest thing for me is, drifting is so intense all the time. And where road racing, you have to be smart and be a little bit reserved, and it's a little bit slower in and a little bit faster out, whereas in drifting, you're entering the turn, as hard and fast as you can, and you're just carrying that momentum, for the most part all the way through. A couple things there that definitely need to change, but at the end of the day, the car control that has become second nature through drifting is just priceless when it comes to road racing, especially the type of racing, door-to-door, head-to-head racing that Trans Am is turning out to be. So I'm just really excited. There's a lot of excitement in that series, and I mean, I'm sure you remember back in the day, early 90s, Trans Am, the wild builds and the crazy racing they had. So for me, it's an honor to have the opportunity, and I'm just looking forward to going out and, having a good race and finishing it.
Yeah. It's Trans Am. I mean, back in the day, that was where it's at. It's it was all over the place. And it kind of went away, but it's definitely kind of making a resurgence. And stoked to see you going over there and trying your hand at it. It's definitely going to be fun to watch.
Yep. Yeah, I'm pumped on it, and we got a really rad looking race car, and I'm gonna go out there and give it my best. I've been playing on a sim and been studying every chance that I can, what goes on at that track. And I've been there a few times, but, we'll see how we end up.
Yeah. Well, I think, you hit the nail on the head, though, talking about it, you're used to driving as hard as you can, for 4, 5, 6 corners, and then you get a little bit of a breather and then you go and do it again. And Trans Am, it's linking all those corners together one after another and staying on point for, a sustained amount of time. And, it's got to be fun for you to, at the end of 6 corners go, hey, we've still got miles and miles left,
Yeah, that's one thing I'm really excited about. I tell the thing with drifting is like every time you run, whether it's qualifying or competition, like you have to be the best you've ever been that moment. Like when you make a mistake in drifting, it's over. Like, at the pro level, it basically comes down to who doesn't make a mistake because everybody's really good. But when you're in, road racing, especially Trans Am, I have 25 laps at 100 miles. So if I make a couple mistakes, like that doesn't kill the race for me, and I can, I'll be able to keep going. So I'm definitely pumped about that. It'd be nice to, be behind the wheel for an hour straight and rocking and rolling, and not, having to stop. But again, it's not necessarily a career change. It's just, I'm a professional fun haver, man. I like to have a good time. I like to be behind the wheel cars, and I like to meet people, and doing new things is a way for all of that to happen.
Yeah. Well, talking about fun haver, I know you spent some time with my friends from Nitro Circus out there coaching your new driver's coach. Is that your new job title for Street Bike Tommy?
Yeah, man, that was a good time. Pastrana hit me up, and he's like, because we're both live in Maryland, and he's like, man, are you in town? He's like, I got a bet with Street Bike Tommy, and so he's like, can you come help him coach? And I was like, yeah, I'm down to coach, but what's the bet? And Travis was like, okay, so the bet is Tommy thinks that if I give him the same buggy as me, he has a Polaris Razor 1000, that he could be as quick as me. He's like, so I gave him 9 seconds. So if he gets within 9 seconds of me, he wins the bet. But if he gets within 4 seconds of me, he gets rent for a year for free, $10,000 cash, and a trip to the Playboy Mansion. And I was like, Travis, 4 seconds is a lot of time on a 2-minute course. I'm like, you sure you want to do that? He's like, I said I would do it. So if you get him within 4 seconds, that's what's happening. So I was like, dude, all right. So I went there, and like, I wanted to get Tommy his money and his trip to the Playboy Mansion. And so I went there for the day, and Ken Block even came out because they were in town for TRC, and we were giving him some pointers, and he got within 600 of a second of the 9-second time. But it was a lot of fun, but I think it was just a really cool testament because we all get this. Oh, if I had what you had, or if I had the sponsors or your opportunity, I would whoop your ass. There's a lot of people, on the internet that have a lot of fun with thinking those things. So it was really cool to give the opportunity to Tommy. He had 12 hours, 2 professional coaches, and he couldn't get, within 9 seconds of one of the best drivers out there. So just goes to show the reality of those situations. But all in all, man, that whole Nitro Circus crew, Jolene, Tommy, Travis, Jim, they're all a good time, and their needs of adrenaline, I'll say, are just next level.
Yeah. Every time I'm around them, I haven't been out to Travis's place, but they're always so much fun. And like you said, everything's amped up, and between them and the Godfreys, man, you end up with those people, and you never know what you're going to end up doing or trying because that's just the way things are,
Well, maybe for you, but I'm confident enough, and I know what I like to do and know what I don't want to do, that it's really tough to talk me and stuff, but I definitely see it all the time. And, it's always cool to get taken out of your element, and I definitely hit a few jumps on my buggy out there that I probably wouldn't hit had I been out there by myself, but, that was the threshold. But, yeah, they go big, man, and it's cool and fun to be around, but got to know your limits when you're hanging out in that style.
Yeah. Hey, I got to ask you. Obviously, Polaris Razor, big sponsor of this show, and I big partner of mine. But what do you have, a turbo on yours? I thought I heard. I mean, yours is pretty solid, right?
Yeah, I actually have what I call the Maniac machine. It's actually a 900 chassis with a 1,000cc snowmobile engine on it with a turbocharger, and it's seriously the most obnoxious thing I've ever driven. It's like the first thing I've ever had where I'm like, I need to let off the throttle right now because it's going to go to space. Like it just moves, and man, those things, they handle and they're fun, and I just love going out with the boys and hitting a weekend, and just hitting the trails and just chilling and enjoying it, and enjoying the outdoors off road.
Yeah. Well, my friends over at IMG, they actually built a drift razor recently, and it's a Polaris Razor 1000. They put a turbocharger on it. They put a big handbrake in it. They lowered the thing down where it sits basically on the ground. They put slicks on it. They put, lighten the thing completely up, put, this low-profile cage, and it's turned it into a single-seater, and they take it out to, Willow Springs and just drift the living crap out of it. Thing's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I've actually had a couple of thoughts about doing something similar. So that's cool to know that that they've been out there playing with it. I mean, I think those chassis have a lot of uses. The geometry is really nice on them. So I think we'll be, as they become more accessible and available, we'll be seeing more people doing things that they weren't necessarily built for, but putting smiles on faces nonetheless, and that's what it's about.
Yeah. For sure. So I got to ask you before we go, Irwindale coming up, the end, I guess in October, kind of the cap off to the year, the House of Drift could be the last year, FD, at Irwindale. I mean, what would it mean for you to win that event, and being that it could be the last time, Formula D is ever there?
Yeah, well, I think it would mean a whole lot just to make it to that event this year. I mean, we wrote the car off here in Texas. It's completely unfixable. And, within, given 6 weeks to try to just completely build something new is definitely right now looking to be pretty challenging and potentially not in the cards. The car will get back tomorrow, but from what we looked at and saw in Texas, it's just completely garbage. It would either be, that garbage, or I could have saved the car and I probably would have been a little bit more hurt and potentially not making it. So we're playing it out. Right now I actually have my twin that is actually in a container on its way to Japan because I will be competing in the final round of D1 this year for the first time ever. And so unfortunately we're kind of up in the air with Irwindale at the moment. But I mean, if we are able to make it happen, obviously, winning Irwindale is always awesome. Winning any event is amazing. And for me to cap off what's been for me personally, less than mediocre year, to cap it off with a good solid finish going into 2015 would be epic. But at this point, I'm just focused on seeing if we can pull it off, getting there.
Yeah, for sure. Before we let you go, gotta put you on the spot. Fire drift. We're ever gonna see kind of a number 2 of that? You got any more films up your sleeve that we may see dropping sometime in the next year?
Yeah, well, as far as fire drift, that was never meant to be like a chain, like Gymkhana or a franchise, I should say, like Gymkhana or Recoil. But we're always doing cool projects. We will have one with the Ultimate Fun Haver coming out in the next couple months, and actually while I'll be in Japan, we're doing a special video project that'll drop towards the end of the year. So we're always doing something fun, and if everyone just keep an eye on my Facebook and Instagram. Facebook's official Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Instagram is Vaughn Gittin Jr. So give me a follow, and we're constantly keeping people up to date with what's going on and what events we're at, and we communicate and love chatting with our people. So, keep your eye open for us.
All right, for sure. Well, good luck this weekend in the Trans Am car, my friend. And, thanks for calling in. You're always welcome on air, buddy.
Cool, man. Well, I definitely appreciate it. And you keep having fun, man. I'm really pumped to see that you're getting to have all the good times that you are and working hard at it, man. It's always awesome to see that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, lots of big things coming in 2016. We'll bring you in the loop on them because I'm sure we can definitely involve you in those at some point. So thanks a lot, buddy, and we'll talk soon.
All right, y'all. Take it easy, man. Thank you.
All right, take it easy, buddy. All right, that was Vaughn Gittin Jr., one of the faces of professional drifting, guy that's synonymous globally. I mean, Vaughn is he's just a badass. Let's put it that way. Solid guy, and, always fun to have him on air when you can catch up with him. And, it was just scary, literally scary. Was talking with Vaughn and his wife Abby last week, and we set this interview up for Monday. We hadn't had him yet in the Formula D post-event interview, and let's dial Vaughn in. So we're all dialed in, and I was actually wasn't watching the drift stream. I was out doing something, and then I see a post from Mad Mike on Instagram, and I go, holy crap! And at that point we didn't know if Vaughn was all right or not. And, and so immediately I'm just like dialed into anybody I knew that was at Formula Drift and Vaughn, thank goodness, all right. I'm sure you can see those pictures all over the net. And then coincidentally, I see that picture from Mad Mike. And then later on, I see him post a picture and, in his car, pretty much destroyed. So Texas definitely wasn't an easy one. At all, but that was your Formula Drift post-event interview. Big shout out to Vaughn Gittin for calling in, and let's hope we can see him at Irwindale. We'll have some Formula D results when we come back from the break. Also some Lucas Oil coverage, Dirtfish Rally Report, and we'll be talking some crashes in motorsports. All that in the next 30 minutes. And then kicking off hour number 2, Jason Voss calling into the air, your Vegas to Reno champion. We'll be catching up with him and talking about the three-peat. All that and more on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Just got done with my boy Vaughn Gittin Jr. calling in our Formula Drift post-event interview. Always fun catching up with Vaughn, one of the busiest guys in motorsports, hands down. Going to go and do some Trans Am racing this weekend, so definitely going to be keeping tabs on that. But Got to get some of these Formula D results, and 1, 2, 3. Looks like we had Masashi Yokio, and I'm sure I butchered that, so sorry to you FD purists, but I'm gonna have to call my buddy Jared Deanda and get the lowdown on how to pronounce his name. Jared always helping me out with some of these names, and the voice of Formula Drift. If anybody knows how to pronounce them, it's definitely Jared. We had the Goosh, Ken Gooshie, finish up in second, and then Chris Forsberg in third. So last year's champ making his presence known on the podium. Looks like we had Daigo Sato also on in that final four as well, getting beat out by Gooshie. But Osbo, he got knocked out by Sato. Looks like in the round of 8. So that is your current leader. He was knocked out, and then Dai Yoshihara Hara, definitely a rough year for him. But he got knocked out in the 8 as well. Mad Mike looks like he made it to the round of 16. We all saw that accident that he had. So definitely, some names dropping out early. Ryan Turk, he's had an amazing year this year. Ryan getting knocked out in the round of 16. So that is definitely it. But looking at your current standings in Formula Drift, It is all Osbo out front right now, 1 round left, and you got to think he's got it in the bag. I haven't looked at the points to see if he's clinched it up, but I believe he has. If not, he's very, very close. But Gushi, he is currently in second. Turk sitting there in third in those championship point standings, but right now Osbo way out front, and then we got Forsberg and Bakchis rounding out your top 5 in the Formula Drift points standings. So that's right, Irwindale up next, round 7, House of Drift. Could be the last time ever Formula Drift is at Irwindale. So if you're going to be in SoCal, you definitely want to make it to that event. Not one you want to miss. It's going to be a little bittersweet, but the boys are going to bring it. You can guarantee it. So moving on, right now we're going to get to our Dirt Fish Rally Report, brought to you by our good friends at Dirt Fish Rally School. You can find out more information on the web, www.dirtfish.com. And if you're looking for a discount code to head on up to Dirtfish, head over to downanddirtyshow.com, and we've got those details there. Pick on pretty much any link, the link for this show, and it's going to be right there in the summary of the show. There's that link for Dirtfish for a discount, I believe 10% off any class at Dirtfish. So definitely book your time and tell them Jim Beaver sent you. Lots of fun up there. I was just up there a few weeks ago. Obviously did the show there and was with my buddies Levi LaValle and Cole Couture, and good times had by all. But right now, we've got had a couple of rally events over the weekend, and all that leading up to Rally America, Ojibwe Rally. Pastrana going to be in attendance this weekend up there in Minnesota. I will be there. We'll be bringing you Rally America Radio. Should be lots of fun. Higgins got it clinched up, but he's going for that perfect season, so lots to be paying attention to at Rally America. Nick Roberts looking to rebound, and we got that two-wheel drive battle on our hands as well. But World Rally Championship happening, Germany, or Deutschland as it is known, but I like to call it WRC Germany. But Sebastian, once again, what more can you say? Volkswagen's out front, taking yet another victory, but you got to admire Latvala. He's had a pretty solid year himself, finishing up in second. Mickelson third, Sordo fourth, Neuville fifth, Evans, Osberg, Tanek, Padden, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce who finished up in 10th place. So you want to know that? Go to WRC.com. Sorry about that, but I just, you get 4 consonants in a row. I lose myself 3 consonants in a row. Can't do it. Sorry. It's a Citroen 10. There you go. But anyways, WRC happening in Germany. One of my favorite rallies of the year coming up next for WRC. That is Australia. And it's always a fun event down there. And the Australian rally fans coming out in force for that. That is up next on the WRC calendar coming up next month. So you definitely don't want to miss that one. And I want to hear from you, you WRC fans. I know there's a ton of you out there. You listen to this show. I want to know, are you guys subscribing to WRC Plus, which is kind of the WRC, kind of the live stream feed, whatnot? I am not. I'm considering doing it, but I want to know from you guys, is it worth it? Do you feel like you get your money's worth? WRC Plus, I want to know. Tweet me at JimBeaver15. Let me know if you guys subscribe to it. I want to know, is it worth it? Do you feel like you'd like to see other motorsports go that way? Let me know at JimBeaver15 if you are a subscriber to WRC Plus. Also, FIA World Rallycross Championship, WRX as it's known, was in action at in Hell. That's right. They were racing a rally event in Hell, so go figure. No, really, it's called Hell. It's in Norway, and one of the most iconic venues on the WRX calendar. And Timmy Hansen taking home that victory. Davy Janey in second, Robin Larson, Danielson in fourth, Anderson in fifth, and Teamer finishing up in sixth position. So right now, your current point standings in WRX, Petter Solberg, solid lead over Timmy Hansen. Petter leading 193 to 152. Backerud Blue, my buddy Andreas Backerud, one of my favorite guys in all of motorsports. He is there in third, 140 points. Davy Janey just a point back of Backerud, and then Johan Kristofferson in fifth. with 135 points. And Radis Nittis, our boy from Olsberg, he is right there on Christofferson's heels as well. So that series kind of winding itself down, but long series, 13 rounds. And right now we're in Norway. We got France coming up the first part of September in a couple of weeks. Barcelona, Turkey, Italy, and Argentina to wrap things up middle of November. So lots of events left, kind of right at the midpoint of the year, a little past midpoint of the WRX calendar. But right now, Petter Solberg, solid lead in the points over Timmy Hansen and Andreas Backerud. And that is your Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web, www.dirtfish.com. Now we're going to get to some Lucas Oil results on the weekend, and I got to tell you, Lucas Oil, Reno. This one's always wild. I mean, I just have to say, it's always a wild one up there. But this year, or this event, no different. Jeremy McGrath, wow, what a crash by Jeremy. Glad to see he is okay, but definitely scary there for a few minutes, and we'll get to talking some crashes here in a minute. But going to Saturdays, Brad DeBerti taking home the win. Brandon Arthur second. R.J. Anderson third. Ryan Beat. Jarrett Brooks. That's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in Pro Light. Pro Buggy, it was George and then George 1 and 2, and then we had McCulloch in third. Hardesty and Kling rounding out your top 5. Pro 2, Bryce Menzies found his way to the top of the box. Rob McCackern in second. Patrick Clark, Sheldon Creed, and Carl Renezetter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Jeremy McGrath, notable down there in 6th position. And then Pro 4, this is the one everybody's paying attention to, because when is Kyle LeDuc going to lose? That's what everybody, and I like Kyle. I had this conversation with somebody. Kyle's a good friend of mine, and I admire the guy. A lot of guys, and he's 12 in a row. I'll just spill the beans. He won both rounds this weekend, right? 12 in a row for Kyle LeDuc. Absolutely remarkable. He is your driver of the year in 2015, hands down. I don't care. At this point, somebody can win the Baja 1000 overall by 24 hours, and Kyle LeDuc's still going to be your driver of the year. That's just the way I don't care. Kyle is that guy this year, and he won. Menzies second, Fortin, McCackern, Adler. Got to say they started him back in I believe it's the second day. He started back in 6th because of the inversion. Still battled all his way and made a pass to take the victory. The guy's just an animal. But the reason why I like Kyle and respect him so much. Most guys in this position would be all over social media. I'm a badass. Nobody can beat me. I am the best, and yada, yada, yada. And you've seen it all, and, spurs jingling and shoulders all puffed up, and, I'm a badass and this and that. And Kyle doesn't even play on social media very much, and when he does, it's, pictures of his kid and prep work and having fun and stuff like that. Kyle, literally, his budget, don't get me wrong, he's got great sponsorships with his sponsors, but, his budget isn't anything compared to a lot of these other guys. Kyle, literally, he shows up to the track. He preps his own truck. He works on it. He's his own mechanic. He shows up to the track. He pulls it out of the trailer. He goes, he dominates, he goes home, and you never hear anything about him. He literally, he just shows up to the track, kicks everybody's ass, leaves it all at the track, and then goes home. Not arrogant, not anything. I mean, the guy is just a machine at this point, and you got to respect him for the way he carries himself. You wouldn't hear him brag about anything, and that's why I have a ton of respect for Kyle LeDuc. Moving on to Sunday, Jarrett Brooks, DeBerti in second, RJ third, Heger and Twitch find his way into the top 5. Pro Buggy, it was Valentine, and then a couple of Georges on the podium, McCulloch, and then Hardesty. Going to Pro 2, Menzies, McCackern, Creed, Woods, Clark, Deegan, Ampudia, R.J. Anderson, Spicarelli, Renezetter, and then don't forget there was that scary crash with Jeremy McGrath, who finished in 11th. And then Pro 4, once again, Kyle LeDuc up there. We had Renezetter, McCackern, Barron, Daughtry. Interesting note, though, I was actually looking at times over the weekend for Pro 4, and, because that's what we've been talking about. There's some guys that are actually pulling quicker lap times than Kyle in the races. So, obviously Kyle, hand over fist, he's in a league of his own right now. But some of these other guys are it's not like he's just absolutely slapping them around. He's just that good of a driver. Even when he doesn't have quite the fastest truck, he's getting every ounce of it, and he's just putting good lap after good lap and clean lap in, and and finding his way to the front. But 12 wins in a row for Kyle LeDuc, just remarkable. And I think he's only not won one round this year. Just insane. Almost the perfect season in short course. To me, it's just I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever see another season like this ever. I mean, it's just that remarkable. And he's racing against the best. I mean, Menzies, McCachran, Renezetter, Deegan, these guys, Doug Fortin. I mean, these guys are veterans, guys that know how to race, know how to drive, and he's just literally it's amazing just watching him drive. And we, after every Lucas round, we talk about the same thing, and it's just to me, it's just absolutely remarkable. So, congrats goes out to Kyle, and I got to shoot him a text, see if we can get him dialed in for an interview. It's I think we had him before the season, but we definitely need to get him back on now. That is for certain. But talking to crashes in motorsports, obviously Jeremy McGrath, absolutely hellacious, crazy, scary crash. I know Rodrigo actually said he found his way into a K-rail trying to avoid the crash of McGrath. And then, obviously we had Vaughn, Mad Mike. I know there's some other crashes. The scary one, though, is, and we don't talk much IndyCar on here, but Justin Wilson, just a hellacious crash. He's in a coma right now. And it was sad part is IndyCar had a phenomenal race going on at Pocono. 6 wide, 5-6 wide at times. I mean, just to me, mind-boggling. It was crazy. I mean, great racing from IndyCar. And then, this scary crash. And, reason I want to talk about it, just it gets under my skin because, you guys know me. I've had my share of crashes this year. It had been like over 10 years since I'd had a crash until this season, and I've crashed razors very hard, and I've crashed a trophy truck. That one, not necessarily my fault, but, it is what it is. The truck went over and got demolished and had to get rebuilt. And, the sad part is you people on social media, you immediately want to share the carnage, you know what I mean? And, I'm going to get some extra clicks to my account. I'm going to, I'm going to put this picture of this guy who just watered it up, and you don't ever see me, maybe it's been a long time, but you don't see me really posting pictures of crashes or anything like that. Like, to me, have a little respect for the guys, you may not like them, but I don't like seeing anybody, crash or get hurt. And, and it gets under my skin when people post pictures of crashes and stuff like that and then talk bad about people's driving and this and that. And there's guys I don't like, and there's guys that I don't like who crash a lot. But I'm not going to throw them under the bus and talk trash about them. I mean, that's just not my style, but it shouldn't be anybody's style. I mean, these people are out there, they're putting it on the line, and let's face it, motorsports, whether it's 2-wheel, 4-wheel, anything, it's dangerous, it's scary, and people die. And for you people that go and share posts on social media and make fun of people and stuff like that, if you don't like somebody, make fun of them, that's fine, but don't do it after a crash. I mean, that's just scary business. I mean, they've got family at home and, that are worrying about them and things like that. And sometimes family can be on the other side of the country or something. Sometimes they learn about something through social media before they actually do their loved one, and that's the scariest thing, knowing that your family member has gone over. And I speak from experience because I drive and also host radio, just think before you post, There's lives involved here, It's not all fun, and it's not all about getting engagement on your click and shares because you're the first to post a crash picture. I mean, have a little class, a little respect. And I'm talking to a lot of people online, which seems to go out the window, but, it's just my feeling on it, Think before you post, especially when crashes are involved, because it's not fun stuff. And, injuries happen, lives happen, that's just the truth, So even if you don't like the person, show a little respect. Just common courtesy. So, this is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, your Vegas to Reno champ, Jason Voss, he is going to be calling into the show. Looking forward to having Jason on air and, chatting about Vegas to Reno and maybe the plans for 2015, the rest of 2015, 2016, and beyond. So thanks for listening to Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Kicking off hour number 2 when we come back.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XD Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XD Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for. No fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island. The best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Looking to upgrade the brake system on your race car, pre-runner, or weekend toy? J-Mar Performance Brake Systems has you covered. An industry leader in performance braking systems, J-Mar can outfit your vehicle with the highest quality American-made calipers, rotors, master cylinders, hubs, turning brakes, and shifters for Volkswagens to trophy trucks and everything in between. For more information and their full product line, visit J-Mar on the web at jmarperformance.com or follow them on Instagram and Twitter at J-Mar Brakes.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm your host, Jim Beaver. Just got done with Vaughn Gittin Jr., the madman, Vaughn Gittin Jr., calling into the show. And, eventful weekend for him, but glad he's all right. Always fun catching up with Vaughn and, seeing what he's up to. Trans Am racing, man. Who would have thought? But also got to give a shout-out. You heard the Gibson exhaust commercial during the break. And, man, I got this Razor project I'm working on for Polaris, and we're actually going to have it on display at the SEMA show, as well as a few others. Got a great group of partners in there, UTV Wolfpack, Pro Armor, Gibson, obviously, Rigid Industries. It's General Tires involved, GMZ, Tires and Wheels, just a great group of partners. MTX Audio, this thing's going to be banging. But I gotta say, we put this Gibson exhaust on this thing and had to fire it up just to hear it how it is. And you know how it is. You put an exhaust on your car and immediately you want to hear it. You want to hear it. And we put that thing on there in the shop and revved it up. Oh, woo! If you need an exhaust for your Razor, I got to tell you, Gibson has you dialed in. Definitely, they have my stamp of approval. They have my endorsement. If you're looking for a Razor exhaust or a Brand X exhaust, you definitely want to go to Gibson, man. I tell you, this thing it just sounds mean and evil, which is always a good thing when you're talking about exhaust. So I can't wait to unleash some donuts, and we're actually going to have a turning brake in this thing, same Formula D turning brake that Vaughn and Turk and the boys. Turk advised me on what to put in there, so going to have like a FD style turning brake in this Razor of mine, and I got to tell you, this thing is going to be a ton of fun. Can't wait to get it finished up. Hopefully in the next week or two we'll be dialed in, have that thing done. But man, it's going to be a ton of fun. But that exhaust, Gibson definitely have my endorsement, my seal of approval. For sure. Also got to mention, hopefully you guys set your DVRs, but our boy Cameron Steele, Trail Emissions, that was airing over TV on the weekend. I don't know if there's going to be a replay or not, but Cameron, once again going down there, always doing good things with his Baja trips, and always fun to have Cameron. Had him and Matt on air last week, but always fun to see kind of his exploits and his adventures down there in Mexico. That's for sure. Aside from being the TV personality and the off-road racer, he does a lot of good work down in Mexico, and it's great when he can do a TV show like this and kind of spread news on what he actually has, going down, there. He does a lot, giving back to missions and schools down there, and, lots of good works by him, and Cameron, definitely good people. And if you missed that interview last week with Cameron and Matt, you definitely want to hit back a few pages at downanddirtyshow.com or your favorite syndicate or whoever's hosting some of the back episodes and catch that, because it was a good hour of radio with Matt and Cameron talking about the state of off-road desert racing and all good stuff. Right now, I'm waiting on Jason Voss to call into the show, and we got Amy Houde on tap here in about 30 minutes to talk some two-wheel action and shenanigans and who knows what else. But got any questions for Jason? Got any questions for Amy? Make sure and tweet at me at JimBeaver15, and in the case of Amy, you can definitely tweet at her direct as well at AmyHood71. Give us a lowdown on on what you have going, and always looking forward to hearing from our fans. So lots and lots of fun. We got a ton of feedback last week on the old people. Amy and I were talking about. Are you the old person in your sport and whatnot? And definitely got a lot of feedback. So I'm not feeling so old anymore. A lot of you definitely responding well to that. So I guess that's definitely a good thing. A lot of you got a kick out of our direct message discussion as well. So. It was quite a fun segment last week. To cap things off with Amy, but lots of stuff happening right now in the world of action motorsports. I know, going back to talking some Rally America. It's such an interesting, point for Rally America. I feel like this has been a big turning point for the series this year. It seems like, entries definitely, especially after New England, a lot of entries coming back into the series. M Sport coming over, just huge. But it's just weird with these final two events. With some of the championships already up for grabs. I think Higgins has his in the bag. He's going for the perfect season though. Got round 7 and 8 LSPR up there in Michigan, and and he's got the event, the round in Minnesota this coming weekend that he's got to win before that can happen. He's got Pastrana going at him this weekend, and make no qualms about it. They may be teammates, but Pastrana would love nothing more than to knock Higgins off of the throne. And then you've got Block going to be running LSPR, it sounds like. So, we'll see if Block's got something in the tank to see if, he can knock that perfect season away from Higgins. So Higgins, 6 rounds down, 2 to go, and he's definitely got his work cut out for him the next 2 rounds to make it perfect, even though he does have that championship in the bag already. And then two-wheel drive, got a heck of a battle going there. And then, talking super production, sounds like Lachlan O'Sullivan, he's already got that one wrapped up, but got Nick Roberts, definitely he's really close there, and if he wins the next 2, it's really would come down to just points, I think. But Nick, always fast, and I look for him to possibly win out the rest of the year and take a couple of victories. Definitely been an up and down year for him, and then big one, Crandon Torque. Crandon coming up, and Labor Day weekend, and one of the biggest, I would say, motorsports events of the year of any kind. I've always said, I put Crandon up there with Indy and Daytona, and kind of the off-road version of that. So always looking forward to Crandon, and and seeing what's in store up there over Labor Day. But looks like right now we got Jason Voss calling into the show. How's everything going, Jason?
Good, Jim. How are you doing?
I am doing good, buddy. Just doing some radio here. Had Vaughn Gittin on, and always fun to catch up with him. But I want to talk to you, three-peat, man, 3 in a row at Vegas to Reno. That's no easy feat, my friend.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't get much more exciting than that. I mean, our team, when we won last year and made it 2 in a row, it was pretty exciting. Never thought that we would win it 3 in a row.
Yeah. Well, and this one didn't come easy. I mean, one, I got to tell you, I've, run Vegas to Reno, I think 6 times now. This has got to be one of the most rugged courses I can remember. Obviously, same course we ran 2 years ago, but the rain and everything else, I mean, this wasn't an easy course. And those last 40 miles with the rocks and everything, they definitely made you earn it.
Yeah, the rain plays a huge factor on this race. It seems like every year. It seems like, before we get to race, the storms always hit. But this year it just seemed to be a lot worse than the previous years. A lot of square edge rain ruts. A lot of rocks in the washes seemed like they had been moved around. And running up front, I'm not sure if it made that much of a difference, but I could tell with the UTV starting in the back this year, they actually used to break down some of the rain ruts for us, I believe. And, I saw a little difference there having them starting in the back. But, I think the terrain on this course plays a lot into my driving styles. Maybe, helped us with success here the last 3 years. I tend to drive the turns a little more than sliding them in, sideways. And I think I could stay on the rocks better than some guys' driving style.
Yeah, it's it's funny you say that, because certain guys, certain courses caters to them. Other ones are like, I hate that. And then another guy might excel. But obviously you've got Vegas to Reno dialed with 3 in a row, and this one didn't come easy. I know there for a while Bryce had checked out, and I think BJ was up front at times. So you guys, the leader definitely changed. It didn't make it easy on you, but you definitely had to fight your way up there to the front.
Yeah, pit strategy, played into it a lot as well. Our pit crew does a very good job at pitting the truck, very efficient. They get us in and out real fast. And we were on a different, pit schedule than BJ was. We made our first fuel and tire stop before BJ did, and it allowed me to catch back up to him and make sure that I was right on his bumper going into where I was guessing he would be grabbing fuel and tires. And we were able to capitalize on him in the pits And, we knew the race at that point when we took over the overall lead was in our hands. Only we were the only ones that could throw it away at that point. So we just had to drive smart and stay on the rocks, which is tough to do on this course. And pretty much, keep the truck on the road and make sure we weren't overshooting turns. And I had a little vibration in my drive line and couldn't do over 110 from about mile 300 on. And we really, when we get into the slower terrain, we pushed a lot harder because I kept thinking in my head that I was losing time on the high-speed roads. And really, I don't think I lost much time on the high-speed roads, but I think we made up a lot of time in the tight terrain.
Yeah. Well, that's what's funny, talking about, one, pit strategy, and two, the rocks. We'll talk about both those. But pit strategy is funny because Rick Geiser was actually in town into last week, and I was talking with Rick. And, they were out testing that new four-wheel drive truck because they literally had pulled it off the trailer and went and drove the race. And he and I were talking about Vegas to Reno pit strategy. And just talking with him, like his strategy was completely different than our strategy. And then, hearing you've got a different strategy than, say, BJ. And it's just funny because there's so many pits in that race and there's so many different ways and everybody's got a different idea what's going to work best.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of options with the amount of pits there are. Obviously we don't have to stop at every pit. We bounce around to where we think we need to get fuel and tires at. And I saw the different strategies, running, under, I would say, Rick Geiser out of his shop, the RPM trucks. I noticed they were on a completely different pit strategy as well. And we were able to pass Lalo in the pits while he was grabbing fuel early on. It looked like he did a short pit early on. Not sure if he had other issues that he pulled in to have looked at, but he definitely got tires and fuel, and we went by him. And, there's a lot of different options, and everyone has their ideas of what's going to work. And sometimes when the green flag drops, that all changes, and your plan kind of has to change as you go.
Yeah. Well, and you were talking about rocks and dinging the drive line, and I think that's one thing I don't think a lot of people understand about driving trophy trucks. I think they think we just drive over the top of everything, and they don't realize, and I've thought back on a race, and how many big rocks and boulders there are laying in the middle of the course, and, you've got to get out of the groove and to miss them, and what people don't realize is one little rock, 550 miles, one mistake, one rock, it hits the third member just right, or it just dings the drive line, and it basically can be game over for your day, or at least take you completely out of the running. And I don't think people realize to drive 550 miles and have to do it 100% clean and miss that drive line and third member that just literally hang down in the dirt. It's tough. It's not easy.
Yeah, it definitely is tough, and I cringed a little bit as I straddled over some of the rocks, thinking that I wasn't quite going to clear them, but we lucked out. And I actually ended up getting my drive line rock that came off of the front tire, and it got spit up underneath the truck, and I heard it bounce around off the drive line. So it wasn't even a big one in the center of the course this time. It was one through a turn that came off of a front right tire and flung up under the truck. And it's hard to get through all of this terrain out there and make a clean run. That's what our goal was. Is we didn't want to have to stop except our planned pits.
Yeah.
Try to drive around the rocks, be cautious, and it worked for us. We didn't have to get onto the truck, my co-pilot James and I. We didn't stop once. We had a pretty much flawless race straight through, besides the one little ding in the drive line, but it only slowed us down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, do you feel like the past couple of years, you obviously have been one of the most dominant drivers in the desert, the past, 2 to 3 years. Do you feel like, you guys are in a groove now, and it's, between race prep and how you get ready for a race and once you start the race, you feel like you're in a groove and things just kind of fall together and, you're in such a groove that it's, it's just things work like clockwork almost? Yeah,
we changed a lot in our program, and we learned a lot in our first few years in the trophy truck class. And we're not down in Southern California, like most of the guys are out in Las Vegas. We're Northern California team, and we're kind of up here by ourselves. And a lot of people ask if it's a disadvantage, and I don't think so. We can't drive down the street and go pick up our shocks from King or, drive here to pick up some parts. Everything's 2 days shipping away.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're up here by ourselves. We prep our truck at our own shop, and we don't have a lot of distractions. And like you said, we've gotten into a groove. We know what it takes to prep the truck, and we know what it takes, for the pit crews. And all of our guys are volunteer family and friends that come out to the races with us. But it's the same group of people that come to every race with us. They know the routine. We practice our pit stops, and it's definitely a team effort. And I would say, 95% of it's won at the shop before we even go to the race. And you know what the prep in these vehicles involves. Everything has to be perfect. And I think, knock on wood, we got our truck figured out. We're always trying to make it better. We're always making changes. We don't want to get too comfortable and think we got it figured out and be left in the dust as others advance on. But right now, the truck is working great, and we couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah, well, looking at the rest of this year, obviously, you're running for Best in the Desert Championship, so we're going to see you at the remaining rounds of Best in the Desert. You going to do any score? We're going to see you at the 1,000 again this year.
I would love to go to the 1,000. We'll see if I get any offers to drive with anyone. I don't think we're going to be able to make it down there with our own truck, which we would like to get back down there with our own truck one day. But we will be racing the remainder of the season with Best in the Desert, and I think we're sitting in second place in points right now, so we got a little work ahead of us to try and get the championship again this year. But we'll see. We'll see what south of the border brings. I'd like to go down there and drive with someone. Rob Mack gave me the opportunity to go down and drive with him and Andy McMillan last year, which was awesome. And I'd like to go down there with someone again this year.
Yeah. And how was that, teaming up with two guys? I mean, Andy, he past 5 years. I mean, he's won, some huge events. I mean, Rob is a legend. I mean, you've won some big events. I mean, how was that teaming with those guys and that program? I mean, you guys, you were on point the whole time and, walked away with a victory. I mean, how was that teaming up with a lot of guys like that?
Yeah, I mean, really it was a dream come true. I mean, never did I imagine that, Rob McCracken would ever call me up and ask if I wanted to go race the Baja 1000 with him, and then to go down and have Andy McMillan on the team as well. And, just the knowledge that I learned in that race from both of them, especially Rob with how long he's been racing down in Mexico. I mean, he knows that place like the back of his hand. It really is pretty crazy. When we were talking before the race, and I was down at his shop, and we're going over the course. I mean, he hadn't even been down there to pre-run the course yet, and it seemed like he knew every inch of it. So just the knowledge, that I got from that was huge. And, to come away with a win down there and a Baja 1000 win at that, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Well, in, working with, Rob and then, the McMillans and stuff like that, I mean, was there some of the, from that experience, was there some of that you could carry over and integrate into your program that made you better this year?
Oh, definitely. And, it's kind of funny because going back and forth when Rob first asked me to drive with him, and, we worked out the details, we made a deal, and he's like, started stuttering a little bit on the phone when we were talking about it, and he's all, well, shit. He's all, I guess you're going to learn a lot about my race truck and a lot about my race program. and he started going into the details on it, and of course we paid attention and took as many notes as we could, and at the end of the race, he asked me, he said I need to give him 3 things about his truck that I really liked and 3 things that he needs to make better. I told him I really liked his Camelback water he's got on a button with the motor to help you drink. And it was really nice drinking water in his truck, but he didn't think that was too funny. He's still hassling me for some comments on his truck.
Too funny. Looking forward to 2016. I mean, got any plans for 2016 already? And and I gotta ask the 10,000-pound gorilla in the room. Obviously you've won a lot in desert. You've got some sponsors coming on board with your program. Any chance we ever see you do some short course racing?
I would love to go short course racing. It's all about it just making the time and making it happen. I think the more you can race, the more you can drive, the more seat time, the better you're going to be in any discipline. The short course guys have been doing it for so long, and they're really great drivers. I would like to get in and get my feet wet in it. It's just having the right opportunity to get out there on the track and do it. We're gonna be out in the desert again next year for sure. We'll race best in the desert. We'll head down, do the Baja 500, hopefully the Baja 1000 in our truck as well next year. But there's always interest. I'd like to go race anything and everything.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and talking about that, I mean, obviously best in the desert. We got a couple of rounds left. Blue Water Desert Challenge, on tap. I mean, kind of a shorter distance race, kind of a sprint race. I mean, how do you feel about 2016 Best in the Desert calendar? Got to be pretty excited about that. Adding in Laughlin and then 2-day Vegas to Reno. It seems like Casey kind of pulled some rabbits out of his hat there at Vegas to Reno with these announcements.
Yeah, I mean, to have any new races is always going to be exciting, especially with how hard it is to work with the BLM, and get races, changes to races and new events put on. And, I'm excited to go back out to Pahrump when we race down there in Pro Truck. I really like the terrain out there. That'll be exciting. Of course, Laughlin's going to be exciting. Any new race on the schedule, I really don't care where it's at. It's going to be good because it's something new. It's a change, and it adds a little bit of excitement. So, and the 2-day Vegas to Reno, will be a fun race. We raised Pro Truck back when we did the McMillan 1000, which I believe was the 3-day event out of Tonopah, and we had done a 2-day. I believe Casey had a 2-day Vegas to Reno a few years back, didn't he?
Yeah, I can't think of the date, but yeah, he's done a multi-day one before, yeah.
Yeah, and that was fun back then. We're excited. I like the changes.
Yeah, but I don't think people even remember Pahrump. I mean, I remember running back there in Class 8, and that course is awesome. I loved racing that Pahrump course.
A lot of lines out in the desert there. A lot of areas to pass. I like that terrain up there.
Yeah, it definitely should be fun. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call, and congrats on the win. Anybody you want to thank? Anybody and give us a shout out on your social media before we let you go.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that's out there supporting us, BFG, King Shocks, KC Lights, Rugged Radios, Mastercraft, our entire team, my co-pilot, James East. I mean, it's a team sport for sure, and it takes everyone's full effort to get a win, and we've been lucky to get a few wins in the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, my friend, and we'll see you, I guess in a month and a half here in Parker at Blue Water Desert Challenge.
All right, we'll see you out there, Jim.
All right, thanks a lot, Jason.
Thank you.
All right, take it easy.
Bye.
All right, that was your Vegas to Reno champ, three-peat Jason Voss calling in, and also had that awesome run there at Baja 1000. The Dream Team teaming up with Rob McCacker and Andy McMillan, and those guys just dominating down there at Baja, the point-to-point 1,000 last year, and definitely won for the record books. But Jason, past couple of years, he's definitely become one of the most dominant drivers in trophy truck. Hands down. I mean, he's won just about everything. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with, and it's been fun seeing that program grow. And like you said, it didn't start out at the elite level they're at now, but they slowly worked on it, chipped away, and here they are, on top of the heap, and he is the man to beat. That's definitely for sure. So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, Amy Houde going to be calling in, and we're going to be chatting with her. So lots of fun to come here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, and I got to tell you, it has been one fun show so far. Vaughn Gittin Jr., always fun with him. Vaughn is just, that guy is boatloads of fun, always going somewhere, doing something. And, and I guess now Street Bike Tommy's driving coach, whoever would have thought. But, we got, him, and then we've got three-time Vegas Torino champ, the three-peat Jason Voss. I don't know, it might be more than three. I can't remember back to his Pro Truck days. But, he's just on point this year. And then, definitely got to got to give a shout out to all the series that were in action this weekend. Lucas Oil, in our Dirtfish Rally Report, talking some hell, talking some WRC. But right now, Amy Houde, she's going to be calling in. We're going to talk some motocross, and I know she has something to get off her chest. So definitely looking forward to that. Always fun with Amy Houde. So. Those of you out there waiting on her to call in, but if you have any questions for Miss Amy Houde, tweet me at JimBeaver15. She's at AmyHood71. Let us know if you got any questions. Always looking forward to those. And like I've always said, use the form on the website. Tweet me, DM me, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Doesn't matter. If you got something to say, I want to hear it. This is a fan-driven show, and we always like hearing from the fans. Love me, hate me, tweet me. Let me know what is on your mind. Always get some fun fan questions, and we've got some of you just finding the show after almost 4 years, and others have been here since day number 1. But always like hearing from new and old fans alike. So make sure and hit us up, and let us know what your thoughts are. If you got a guest you'd like to hear, somebody you want to see interviewed, let us know. It's it's the only thing I can say. It's fan driven. We'll do our best to accommodate, get them on air if we can. If it's somebody that fits the format of the show. So, always like, interacting with you guys and trying to, get people that you want to see or hear, on air with me. So, also got to give a shout out to our buddy Rob D'Amico, Race Day Nation. Definitely if you got iHeartRadio, I don't know who doesn't have iHeartRadio at this point on their phone, but we're part of the Race Day Nation network, fusing a bunch of great motorsports shows and content, all into, one station there, as well as our friends at the Performance Motorsports Network. And then all of our syndicates, we've got lots more coming on board each and every day. Got a lot of stuff in the works, but definitely, thanks for listening in on those platforms. And, if you miss us live, you can always catch us. I believe it's like 18 different places now, something insane like that. But, and not only this show, but always Rally America Radio. Tune into us there at rallyamericaradio.com while we are on air, during all the Rally America National Championship events throughout the year. But lots going on here, man. Lots and lots going on. I know number 15 trophy truck back in the shop. We got her all washed up, stripped down, and getting that ready for Blue Water Desert Challenge. Got my Razor project going on. Getting ready for some more Terracross. Yep. Some more Terracross for sure. But right now, it looks like Amy Hood calling in, so that means we got to hit this music.
You better bust that if you don't blow that. Where the hood at?
All right, Amy, you there?
Hey, what's up, guys?
All is good. I know you got some stuff to get off your chest, but I got some stuff off my chest earlier in the show. We've had a great show today, by the way. I just wanted you to know the 90 minutes you missed was awesome radio. So one of these days we need to get you here for the full 2 hours. But so I was talking crashes in motorsport, in both four-wheel and two-wheel crashes, and I got to say this weekend, scary. Jeremy McGrath had a horrible accident up there at the Lucas race in Reno. He's fine. My buddy Vaughn.
Yeah, I saw. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, just hellacious crash. Then there was guys crashing just to get out of the way of Jeremy's crash. And then Vaughn Gittin Jr., who was our guest, he had a really bad crash in Formula Drift. Mad Mike had a bad crash in Formula Drift. Justin Wilson in IndyCar, which we don't cover on the show, but he's in a coma now. And it was just a scary weekend. And it pisses me off because you see it. I hate crashes. I don't post pictures about crashes. Whether they're my crash or somebody else's crash, I just don't post pictures because I don't think it's funny, and I don't think people realize how dangerous it is. And I hate it when you go online and and people are making fun of a driver they don't like because they crashed, or they're posting up pictures. Oh, check this out, just to get engagement and shares. I just don't think.
Yeah, make a meme, some kind of jerk meme, and like the guy is freaking sitting up in a hospital praying to be alive, and then you got some asshole over here just making a big joke about it. Yep, I feel ya. Yeah,
it just, it drives me nuts. Like you've seen it in the two-wheel community. I mean, somebody has a bad crash, everybody's like, holy crap, and the guy's laying on the track and can't get up, legs broke or something like that. People are snapping pictures and posting them to social media, and the guy's still laying on the track.
Yeah, no. It is like you kind of are walking that fine line because sometimes it's funny because when I was younger, my dad always told me, okay, this sounds like terrible parenting right now, but it's not. It's funny, actually. But he was always like, if you're going to crash, make it look good. Because, you don't want to just fall over in a corner and hurt yourself. I mean, if you're going to go down, you might as well freaking do a pretty good tumble and give the audience a bit of a show. Hopefully as long as you can get up and walk away from it. Yeah. But it was pretty funny because my dad used to always be like, yeah, that was a good one. And with any time I have a motocross school, okay, I'm dealing with a lot of little kids here, right?
Yeah.
So they crash, and the first thing they want to do is, like, bawl their eyes out, right? But you look at them as soon as they hit the ground, you're like, oh, my God, that was insane. That was wicked. Like, they're just cartwheeling down, and I'm just trying to salvage this situation before I'm dealing with, an out-of-control, like, crying 9-year-old. So I'm like, yeah, that crash was crazy. You're so gnarly. And they're just like, yeah. And they just start laughing or, whatever. But I try to turn a shitty situation into a good situation. And that's kind of the person I am and how I look at things. And, unfortunately last year I had to get carted away in a helicopter. I had a really bad crash. But the situation went from like 0 to 100 real quick. Because I was in the ambulance up on some, like, IVs, and they had some machines on me and stuff, and I guess my blood pressure started going, like, all sorts of crazy. So they thought I had some really bad internal bleeding or some damage, so, boom, they called our STARS helicopter here in Winnipeg, and next thing I know I was, like, in this helicopter, and I was freaking out because no one really tells you what's going on, and I'm like, they start pumping me with some type of pain medication, and all I could do was start laughing and giggling, and I'm like cracking like jokes with the lady there, and I'm like, can you take a picture of me? Because, at the end of the day, our situations it's 90%, life is 10% what happens to us, but 90% how we deal with it.
Yeah.
And you can either take one road or the other. So I'm always that person who just tries to make the best of the shitty situation. And I got a lot of flack for that. Like, so many people threw me under the bus and put me on fire because I snapped a photo in the helicopter. But the post I posted about it, I said, this is not how I wanted my day to turn out. But, in the end, like, I'm going to be here to race another day. Like, I try to put a positive message on my shitty situation to hopefully inspire someone else, who might be dealing with some hardship or, injury or anything, and people threw me under the bus for trying to be positive. Like, it's just crap. I mean, you can't win on the internet and in social media world these days. Like, you just gotta, post what you post and hope for the best and just run with it. Like,
yeah. Well, it's
crazy.
That's kind of me. Like, and I'm to the point, like, I have had so much stuff, positive and negative, written about me. I don't care anymore. Literally, it just rolls off the shoulder. I don't pay any attention to it. Attack me, attack up and down. It doesn't matter. But, like, when I see something written about you or one of my buddies, or something like that, that's what gets to me. I'm like, these are good people. Quit attacking them, and that's what gets me. Like, me, I don't care. Say whatever you want, But my people, when you talk bad about my people, that's when it gets under my skin.
Yeah, it's just, it's all these weekend warrior or keyboard warriors, I guess they call them now, who know nothing about anything, and they just, like, basically like to hear their own opinion or see their own freaking writing or something, because they usually are people who know nothing about the sport and nothing about the particular athlete that they are bashing. And it's funny because, I mean, I know so many people in so many different sports. I have a lot of really good friends. There's no one that I hate, that I would ever even consider writing something negative about. I mean, there's obviously people I don't overly like, people you date for a while and don't, or, burns and stuff in the industry, because I've, met a few people along the way. But I would never, ever think to go and write something nasty about someone else. Some other athlete out there grinding, trying to make their dreams reality, whether they are, a good person or not, like, man, it's not my freaking opinion. Like, that, what you do in your life, I got nothing to say about it. I mean, I just can't believe how people think that they can write stuff on the internet about someone else. Like, it just blows my mind. And my child is never allowed to have a cell phone, ever. Ever.
Well, and I get people all the time, and I'm the same way. You know what? We've been doing this show almost 4 years now. If I have never mentioned somebody's name and they have never been a guest, you can probably put two and two together that I just generally probably don't care for that person, you're not going to hear me come out and say I don't like them publicly. You're not going to hear me say anything bad about them on the show. You're not going to see me tweet, post, nothing about them. But, you know, you can put two and two together and draw between the lines. If they haven't been a guest and I don't ever talk about them on air, chances are I probably don't care for them. You know, but I'm with you. I'm not going to publicly say anything. I don't hate somebody that bad that I'm going to publicly just badmouth them, you know?
But at the end of the day, for any of our younger listeners out there, like the biggest, you know, life lesson you can ever learn, you know, and especially being in a motorsports industry or any type of industry where it's just, you know, chirp, chirp, chirp. What you say about someone makes you look worse than what you're probably saying about them. What you say about someone speaks way more about who you are as a person than they are. And that's kind of the number one thing I've always stuck with, and I just kept my mouth shut, is because what do you think of people when they're, you know, you don't even really know them or know them that well, and they start chirping about someone. The first thing you think is like, wow, you're probably an asshole, or someone I don't want to tell anything about my life to.
What are you saying about me behind my back?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I think it's just best not to talk about nobody, deal with your own life, and just forget about it. So that's what I have to say about that. And stop posting people's crashes on the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they're totally fine and it's like a year later, because MX Fails is really funny. I follow a lot of MX Fails, like, Instagram things. I can't lie, but, I mean, now I feel really bad for getting to talk a lot of other people's misfortunes. But some people should just never be on a dirt bike, okay? Don't let your little girlfriend who doesn't even know the difference between, you know, a car and a dirt bike go and ride a dirt bike. Because, like, all the MX Fails, I just watched one of some chick. Like, the boyfriend's, like, trying to get her, like, to let the clutch out, and she just does a good old Larry loop out and eats crap. And she's wearing, like, short shorts and probably has some serious road rash.
Yeah. So I got to ask you, and this is definitely putting you on the spot, but it's a question that has to be asked right now. So you and your moto chicks, some guy, I know you're taken, you know what I mean, but you and your moto chicks, some guy comes up and he rides a quad. What's the first thing you guys think?
That's so bad. Nuke the quads. I'm sorry. Unless he can, like, backflip a quad, I ain't interested. Sorry about it. Yeah. I got to give Colton Moore, you are exempt, buddy. You can backflip quads and Superman backflip quads and everything else, dude. You are the man, Colton. Aside from that, and it's funny because forever I always thought I wanted to be, like, I needed to be with someone who was faster than me, because it's super weird to date a guy who, you know, you can, like, lap on the track. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like, who's the man in the relationship? But, you know, I like being an alpha female. I like being, you know, I like being the busy one. Like, I've never been kind of that stereotypical, like, housewife, man goes to work and fends for me and blah, blah, blah. It's like, nah, I want to be a sugar mama. I want to be the one in control. And, you know, like, I've actually come to a point in my life where I don't mind if the person I end up with, like, doesn't ride bikes. Like, whatever, as long as you have your own stuff going for you. But as long as you can do manly things, like if you can fix my truck if it's broken, or go and catch me a fish in the river and fry it up for me, like, honey, my DM, slide into that DM. No, I mean, I don't really care. I used to care all the time. I mean, like, you know, I'd never be with a guy who I'd be faster than. But now I'm just like, whatever. As long as you're cool and can do manly stuff, bring it.
Yeah.
But, and that's the way I think all my girlfriends are like, too, because it's not every day. And most guys who are fast are very full of themselves. I hate to say it, but it's true. Like, and then they're a little arrogant, and then you get a chick who's good at riding, and then, oh my God, their self-esteem just goes out the window, and they get a defensive, and you feel like you can't really talk about riding to them because they know everything, and they're like know-it-alls and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of hard being, like, you know, a little bit of a faster girl. It's hard to find a guy who can kind of keep up.
Oh, well,
we're talking relationship advice. It's on the Down and Dirty. Holy crap.
Yeah, we've solved the world's problems here in 12 minutes of radio. So, no, I just, for some reason, I just got tagged in one of your posts on Instagram, and I check social media all the time. So you got somebody, Reekers58. What's your moto-related goals? So here's a question for Amy Hood71. What's your moto-related goals? This is straight from your Instagram because, everybody reads your comments for entertainment.
We should do this every week where we just, comment on a post of our, post about the show and what's coming up. And, if there's a cool question, we'll just answer it. So get some fan engagement going on here. But I was thinking about this because, I want to do everything. I literally want to do everything. Anything that's possible to accomplish in racing, in the racing world, I want to do it. I feel like there's no limitations on life. And if you have a dream, just go do it. Make it happen. Figure it out. But my ultimate goal, where I know I have accomplished what I've kind of set out to do is I've always wanted to do a world motocross schools tour. I wanted to go to kind of third world countries and, places a little bit less fortunate and actually hold a motocross school. Because like I said before on the show, one of the earlier shows is anywhere you go in the world, there's dirt bikes. And there is a dirt bike community, and there's usually one track or a couple tracks. But there's always people who, ride anywhere you go, whether it's Costa Rica or Africa. And I thought it would be really cool to go to these places that, don't get to experience racing like we do here in North America. And, hold a school, help raise some money, give it back to their racing community, but just have an awesome time and, show people what my motocross family is like here in this hemisphere and take it somewhere else. So I think that would be really cool, and that's my ultimate goal in racing. That's what I'd love to do. So,
yeah.
Anybody want to start a GoFundMe?
Yeah, right. Well, you're kind of like me. I've got to the point where, I race trophy trucks and have some great sponsors there that help me out, but I just want to do fun stuff, whether it be race a Razor in Terracross, and you know what? I was freaking horrible at the first one, and I got all kinds of flack for it, but it's something new to me. Supercross and Razors, absolutely new out of the box, but it's fun. I want to try fun stuff. Rally cars, I love rally cars. I'm, looking at possibly doing a stage rally next year. Am I going to win? I don't know. Am I going to get last? Probably not, but, it's fun. I don't care if I'm good at it. I just want to get behind the wheel or the handlebars of anything and everything I possibly can. You know what I mean? I would love to, do a snowcross event in one of the wimpy amateur classes. To me, that would be fun. I don't care how well I do. I want to race snowcross once. I just want to do fun stuff. I don't care if I'm good at it. I just want to experience it,
Yeah, I know exactly. And that's, I'm really excited to race Terracross because getting this suit that Impact is, designing for me, I'm really, really excited because I'm looking at the suit. I'm like, this is a new chapter of my life. This is something completely different. I've only ever worn a motocross gear suit. I've never worn a car suit, and I just feel like the possibilities are endless. I want to do drift. I want to do Formula One. I want to do everything. Yeah. So now I feel like this is, Terracross is such a cool opportunity to open up some new doors and hopefully the four-wheel side of motorsports industry. You just never know. And why not go try something new? You just never know where it's going to take you. And that's sometimes the lessons I try to teach, my friends and, young girls and guys growing up is it doesn't really matter. You can have any goal in life, and it's really not about reaching that goal, because when you're on your journey to chase a goal, usually a new door opens and you find something completely new that you had no idea you'd be good at, that you had no idea you would like, and then your life just goes in a different direction. So why not just try anything and everything? So
yeah,
that's what I say. I may suck at Terracross, but you better believe I'm going to give it 100% of my effort.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, it's funny because I get that question all the time. How did you and Amy get linked up? And I'm like, I don't know, a door opened and things just happen. I'm like, it's almost been a year since we've known each other. I think last October we had you on for the first interview or something like that. And I'm like, would I really have thought almost a year later you would have a full-time home on the radio show? You and I would be teammates in Terracross and, we'd have you at the Mint doing radio. Would I have ever thought that? No, but doors open, things happen, and, you never know who you're going to meet and, who you're going to hit it off with and how things will click.
Yeah, no, not at all. And that's why it's just really, really important to never settle and never quit when the going gets tough. Because, if I would have, quit the first time I lost a race or sucked or crashed or broke a bone, like, man, that career would have been over when I was like 9.
Yeah.
So just keep trying and keep having fun, and like that, at the end of the day, it's about having fun and meeting new people and having a good time. So don't get all caught up in the drama and what social media and the internet has to say. Just go out and do what you like to do, and everything else will just fall into place.
Yeah. Well, speaking of having a good time, one of our mutual friends who we tend to have a good time with, Ronnie Renner, bringing home the gold in Real Moto.
That's so awesome!
I know. We got to text him and get him. It's sometime in the next month. He's got to have a Monday off somewhere in there, and we got to slide him in because
I'm pretty sure he can take 30 minutes out of his day to come and talk to us.
I don't know.
I'll make it happen. Don't worry. I'll talk him.
But no, I got to tell you though, that video, you and I both called it. I mean, we're friends with Ronnie, but his video, just the production values on it. I mean, he literally, I mean, he dedicated himself to that project and just absolutely. Awesome. I mean, he definitely. I mean, there was some other videos that were awesome, but Renner definitely deserved the gold, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, definitely. His video is so freaking rad too. So, I want to bring him on there. I want to pick his brain a little bit and just kind of hear what he has to say about it. So. Yeah,
for sure.
Whenever he wants to.
Yeah, and then motocross. I don't even know what to say. I mean, the one thing I will throw it out here, I noticed Tucker Hibbert, 26th. It was great seeing Tucker actually. I don't know. I mean, he actually didn't have a bad weekend by Tucker Hibbert standards in motocross. I know he's Tucker Hibbert snowcross. I mean, he's untouchable. But he likes to toy in motocross, and not a bad effort by him.
Why not? I mean, if you can still go out and run 20th, 25th, whatever, just by all means go do it. I mean, he's probably just out there having a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool to see him kind of be able to jump from sport to sport, not race a whole season, but still go out and do better than half of the freaking privateers out there who just grind all year. So pretty cool. I didn't know he's not no spring chicken.
No.
So he's a very well-rounded athlete and really, really talented. So
yeah, like we were saying,
I think if that was the only thing he did, I think he could be a top 10 guy if the only thing he ever did was motocross, probably.
Yeah, I agree. If he never would have went the snowcross route and he would have started, dedicating himself to that at a young age, I think it definitely, he definitely could have had a career at it. But like you and I were just talking about, he goes out there, he knows he's not going to win. Does he think he's going to beat Dungey? No, but he goes out and has a good time. That's what it's about. Have fun.
Yep, why not?
Don't think about results.
I don't want to do 30-minute motos for fun.
Yeah.
But if that's your idea of fun, then by all means, Tucker, you go do it.
Yeah, exactly. Dungey, another win. Roxon, taking a moto win, though. Got to give a little shout to Roxon, kind of rebounding back towards the end of the year.
I told you.
Yeah, you did. I mean, he's, I think I'm gonna throw it out there. He's one of my favorites at Monster Energy Cup.
Oh yeah, for sure. He was a really solid Supercross rider. I literally have no idea. I'm gonna have to kind of keep my eye open. Follow some of the feeds and the behind the scenes things to see who's doing what for Supercross and who's fast and who's kind of the quiet guy to beat. Like right now, I have no idea. The transition from outdoors to Supercross is totally different. There's always that guy who comes up and is just dominant. Sometimes you get a privateer or an amateur or a rookie that got hurt early on in motocross. So all they've been doing now, once they've been healed, is training Supercross, and we don't know about it. So it's always you don't know until the gate drops, that first moto, who is going to be the leader of the pack. So that's what I really like about coming the first round, is you just never know. It's you gotta wait to see.
Yeah, and let's talk 250s.
Also, you kind of got to know what's going on the backside, and you just listen and hear all the whispers and talks of lap times and who's killing it, and so.
All right, and 250s, I just got to say, because we can't say the words on air, but WTF. I don't know what the heck happened. Take me through this. I mean, it's,
seriously, I hope someone from KTM got fired on Saturday. Job lost, goodbye. Because they just cost the KTM team a freaking championship because of an engine problem? Really? On the last race of the year? Like, those bikes should have been brand freaking new, just bought off the showroom floor. I mean, gosh. When I seen that, I was like driving out to a cabin or to the lake or something, and there was no races this weekend, so I had a pretty chill week, just hung out at home, and there was a torrential downpour, so I stalked on the internet as soon as I saw Marvin pull off. I'm like, yeah, I'm not even watching this. Like, it was just whatever. So basically, Jeremy got that championship handed to him.
Well, he didn't have a good weekend at all.
Kind of listening to fans that were like, he should have pulled off too, because then they could have really went at it on that last moto, and it could have, it's so sad. It would have been really cool to see, like, physically, mentally, who could have, done it. And it's really too bad that it came down to a bike issue, because you're looking for that chase to the championship, that fight and that perseverance and, determination. And I was really hoping to see that in those final 2 rounds. And unfortunately we didn't, so.
Yeah. Well, the sad part is it was handed to Martin, because Martin, a 4th and a 9th, he didn't exactly light the world on fire, but Marvin, a 40th and a 3rd, it just, to me, the whole thing was like, I don't know. It's disappointing. It had this big build up, and then it was like such a letdown.
But at the same time, it's almost like you got to play both sides. What a relief, though, right, to not win a championship because of mechanical and not your own personal defeat. Like, sometimes that's a little bit of a better way. You could have been like, oh, gosh, it's been nice to win the championship, but it's probably a good feeling that it's not like a slip-up or a crash or, just couldn't do it that last race of the, come down the last race of the year and you just couldn't do it. That's almost more devastating because that's personal, right? You're taking that personal hit to the gut when you're the one who screws up. But right now, there's some guy on the KTM team who is packing their bags and, carrying their box of crap out to their car right now. So
yeah, it was But good luck to Marvin next year. I think he's definitely 450s. It's time. So I think
and what I love about Marvin is he still went on, talked to Racer X, gave a nice little interview, and how he finished it off is like, you know what? I have a great life. I have a great wife. I'm happy. So it is what it is, and that's the best thing. Like, I mean, he's just such a cool guy, and he'll be around forever. He'll be around for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. So what's up next for you this coming weekend? And I'm going to be up in your neck of the woods doing a little Rally America Radio. What's up next for you?
I have a Manitoba Old Timers race where I will be racing my vintage bike and doing like the support class on my 250. But I'm doing some vintage racing this weekend. I'm so stoked. It'll be awesome. I can't wait to get out there. So
yeah, how's the ankle?
It'll be good. That's fine. Totally fine.
No more gopher holes?
Nah, no. I'll stay away from those.
Yeah, for sure.
That's like the pun of the week now. Everyone's like, oh, there's a gopher hole. Like, everyone's just on me all the time. It's annoying. I just can't help it, you guys. I can't help where the gophers want to dig.
They just happen to want to dig where you want to walk, right?
Exactly.
All right, Amy. Well, I guess I'm traveling north. You're doing some vintage racing, and we'll definitely do this again next week. And we'll reach out to Renner and see when we can get the guy that just won Real Moto Gold on air.
Yeah, I'll bug him.
Yeah. I don't know. Renner's Renner. He'll call in when he wants to call in. I think that's what it amounts to. But always fun with anytime we can get a hold of Renner. So yeah. So.
Well, that sounds good. Well, you guys have a good rest of your week. And again, next week, if you have any questions, kind of let me and Jim know because we like to answer them. They're super fun. And I'd like to tell you a little bit more about my life. So, yep.
All right, sounds good, Amy. Have a good one, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, have a good one, guys. See you later.
All right, see ya. All right, that was Amy Houde, kind of wrapping things up here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and always give her a follow at Amy Houde71 on Instagram, Twitter. She's also got a Facebook page, YouTube channel. Definitely want to follow that YouTube channel as well. She's always got some banging videos popping out there as well. And talking motocross, give you a quick rundown. Once again, Plessinger taking home the win in 250s. Joey Savacci, Jesse Nelson, RJ Hampshire, and Matt Basiglia. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And Jeremy Martin taking home that 250 championship. Dungy already had the championship wrapped up, and once again, taking a win. Got a first and a second. Roxon with a third and a first, taking home that second spot. Had Anderson in third, Justin Barsha fourth, Chris Purcell in fifth, and then Kennard, Baggett, Tickle, Grant, and Nicoletti as your top 10. And once again, Tucker Hibbert, 26th position. Got to give a shout out to the Sledhead, for not only making the top 40, but in there, not a bad result for a guy who doesn't ride motocross very often, at least professionally. Always. Always got to give a shout out to Hibbert when he tries to do it up. But, been a fun show. And don't forget Rally America Radio coming up this weekend from Minnesota. Also got Torque Crandon coming up as well here in 2 weeks over Labor Day weekend. Got to give a big shout out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish Rally School, UPR.com, Blood Resort and Casino, Jmar Brakes, KMC Wheels, Parker Motor Company, Gibson Exhaust, MTX Audio, the official audio partner of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and Intense Tees, as well as Amy Hood, Jason Voss, Vaughn Gittin Jr., and all of you for listening each and every week. Don't forget to give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/Down and Dirty Show for all those back episodes. And we also have a new app dropping soon. I promise it is coming very, very soon. Just kind of going through the process with Apple and Google and stuff like that. But instead of just archive show, you'll be able to live stream through the app. So I promise it's coming. It's done. It's finished. It's just waiting through the process at this point. So it'll be here before you know it. I promise. And also got to give a big shout out to all our winners. But once again, Ronnie Renner, that Real Moto gold medal, definitely well deserved. And and be sure and check out that new 2016 lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles available at your local Polaris dealer, as well as those new General Tire MT tires. Be sure and check those out. And as always, hit me up. You got any questions for me or Amy? We want to hear them. We want to put them on air. Always look forward to fan questions. Once again, tune in to Rally America Radio this weekend, kicking off Friday and Saturday, Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. Higgins, Pastrana, and all the rest of Rally America Field will be in action as we wind down the 2015 Rally America National Championship. This has been Jim Beaver on behalf of Amy Hood, the Down and Dirty Radio Show. As always, game on.